Hello everyone, welcome back to another Total War multiplayer battle. This is going to be the Vampire Coast versus the Lizardmen. For my army here, we have a front line of just basic deckhand mobs with swords. I brought two deckhand mobs with polearms in the back, but no depth guard for this one. The main power is going to lie in our flying force because they have three of the deck droppers with handguns, and I also have three fellbats in this force as well in case the enemy went heavy on flyers on their own. I needed the fellbats to try and pin them down, and then the handgunners to just do their job. So the handgunners, just real quick, is the armor piercers, so they are very good at sniping any kind of important target. So that's our air force. The ground force mostly zombies, but then backed up by the renowned units of the Night Terrors. These are the regenerating, rampaging Morgul Hunter, or Morguls, and then their Morgul leader here, the Morgul Haunter, which is a very good anti-infantry killer with a lot of good damage there, pretty decent stats, kind of low armor, but they also have the Hunger ability, which allows them to regenerate in melee, kind of like what these guys do as well. And then our leadership is going to be Siloistra on her massive crab, which gives her the 150 armor. A lot of, well, let's say a decent armor-piercing focused attack damage there for a Lord, that is, yeah, especially for a caster Lord. And then also we have decent melee stats on top of this crab as well. And for the spells, we have the Fog of the Damned, which is going to lower the melee attack on leadership. We also have the Spiteful Shot to increase accuracy. That's going to be popping on our handgunner, our flying handgunners. And then also I brought the Vangeist's Revenge because that thing just looks cool and could potentially do a lot of damage. And then also the Kraken's Pool, which is going to be a vortex spell and slows a lot of people within its area of effect. For the abilities and items, we also have the Arcane Conduit, the Song of Enthrallment, which can stack well with the Fog of the Damned, so lowering people's melee attack by almost 50 or 52, something like that. Then we also have the Ghost of the Past, which is going to be able to summon the group of Knight Errants. And that's going to be our force. I believe I got everybody there. So yeah, again, most of our damage is going to be in the Morguls and our flying handgunners. All the zombies are just going to be sitting there to take the hits for the most part. For the enemy formation, real quick, they have 4 of these skink skirmishers, kind of just all along this line right here. Not the chameleons, just the actual skink skirmishers. Behind them, their main line is going to be spears on the flank, then temple guards in like the mid flank, and then just Saurus warriors with shields in the middle. And they also have 4 skink cohorts here, 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 and here. And I believe they're going to be wrapping around the flanks there, and then the main force is just going to be going up the center, as you can see there. For the leadership, they have Krokar unmounted, but they have the Shotgun Blast and most of his abilities, though none of his items. And then we also have a Skink Priest of the Beasts with the Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom. And that is going to be their army, so let's get it going here. Going to just meet toe-to-toe. We're just going to run our zombies into these Saurus warriors. There's nothing else for them to really do. And for these skink skirmishers, we're going to, I believe I sick my fellbats on these skink skirmishers in the beginning part of this game because there are no flyers that we can see, and I did not realize the spell that they brought with the skink priest there. I did not bother to look at them before we just throw our priest, or before we threw our fellbats in there, because I'm like, you know what? I see no flyers, so let's just throw our fellbats onto these skink skirmishers. They are a big threat, so that's what we're doing there, and then I think way over here we're chasing another one of those with the fellbats. Meanwhile, our handgunners right now are shooting into the middle of the Saurus warrior line, and we just, as you saw there, did the Vangeist's Revenge and got nice damage on these Saurus warriors. We almost just totally wiped out 2 units with that one spell, so that's great. Siloistra and all the Morguls are going to pile into the center against these Saurus warriors, which are a great target for them. But they are going to throw a Krokar in here, which is a good anti-large combatant. Even unmounted, they still do pretty good with a bonus which is large. And armor piercing, the enemy is already forced to bring up some of their reserves here with the spears coming in, these skink hordes coming in. My fellbats are taking a lot of damage from the skink skirmishers, and unfortunately right here this unit is going to be chased by the Manticore, and they're going to be kind of just flying back and forth back here. My other 2 handgunners are going to be wrapping around eventually on the flanks here and just try and shoot in the backs of these temple guards. That's what they're going to be doing. Siloistra, for the most part, is just going to be going kind of up and down this line over here with their Morgul buddies. Krokar did disengage from our Morguls because he started to take a lot of damage from the Hunter and the Knight Terrors. Both of them are anti-infantry, so they have a bonus to hit against Krokar. You can see I'm laying down a Fog of the Damned to try and lower the melee attack of Krokar and the Saurus warriors. Something a nice errant here, which is going to be going up against, I think, I want to say these skinks. I think, yeah, we're going to do a rear charge on these skink cohorts who are currently fighting with one of our zombies there. Zombies, for the most part, losing against Saurus warriors, but that is to be expected. They are just sitting there to hold. Fellbats doing what they can against skink skirmishers where they can, but the skink skirmishers are just going to beat them down in melee and just shoot them full of holes. But I didn't really have much else for them to target. I guess I could have put them on the Manticore, but the Manticore is going to die because they have the summoning sickness. Now, unfortunately, over here, the Manticore will be catching these units soon-ish, somewhere around this area. I don't know. But my handgunners back there are going to take a lot of damage, but these 2 handgunners are free to shoot in the backs of the Temple Guard here. The other Temple Guard is at the other end of the line, killing some zombies right over there. Those are our big threats to Siloistra and our Morngulls. Krokar back here dealing with our Knight Terrors, the Renowned unit. I think he's going to get them to Rampage soon, but I'm trying to stick them on to the Skink Priest to try and wipe out their Spellcasters, so we're going to stick our Morgul Hunter there. Meanwhile, Siloistra was dealing with some of the Source Warriors with spears, but I am going to pull her away from the Temple Guards who are dealing with some zombies over there. And again, our Handgunner back here is about to get caught by the Morgul, or sorry, by the Manticore, and these Skink Skirmishers are going to actually start firing into the Handgunners as well, so that's going to hurt a lot. But over here, we do a lot of good damage to the Skink Priests. We actually managed to terror route them. We're going to drop another Fog to the Dam to try and lower the damage potential of these spears, which could do a lot of damage to our Morgulls. Because you got to remember, the Morgulls do not have that. That's Siloistra. The Morgulls only have a 40 armor, and the Morgul Haunter, the hero, only has a 50. So the Saurus Spears do a lot of damage to the Morgulls. Not as much to Siloistra because of her 150 armor, but still they do a lot of damage to the Morgulls. We're trying to now route and kill Krokar here, because we have managed to rout off their Skink Priest. Back there, you're going to see my units just getting destroyed by the Manticore. Luckily, it does die, but they are still getting shot up by the Skink Skirmishers over there. My Felbats at this point, I believe, are all dead. My two other Handgunners, though, have done a lot of good damage to these Temple Guard... Where are the Temple Guard? Over here. So the Handgunners basically destroyed these Temple Guards, and so now I'm going to move them over here to try and do the same thing to this Temple Guard unit, who unfortunately my Rampaging Knight Terrors are rampaging into. So that's really bad. They do not want to be fighting the Temple Guards. Temple Guards are really good at killing the Morgulls, but they're rampaging, so there's not much I can do about it. Meanwhile, over here, the Morgul Haunter and Siloistra are still trying to take out Krokar. The Skink Priest finally managed to get out of there, and they're going to come back from routing over here somewhere. You see the other Handgunner moving in. And again, we're going to just try and shoot up these Temple Guard with the two Handgunners. This one, I think, is going to be dying to these Skirmishers back there, of which they still have, I think, all of their Skirmishers. We did manage to chase these Skirmishers and these Skinks. I think with the Knight Errants, you can see that they finally died over here. They did like a charge over here, and they finally managed to get Skirmish down. The Skirmishers, I think, actually went behind and in front of them and just started shooting them up and did a lot of good damage. But anyway, we managed to chase some Skinks out into the forest here, but they will be bringing them back online soonish along with these units. There's going to be kind of just like a collective movement of the enemy when they realize all the units that came back from routing or that are just way out on the periphery. They're going to be coming back into the battle. But meanwhile, over here, we were still trying to take down Krokar with the Morgul Haunter and Siloistra. We did a lot of good damage to Krokar. He's not as good when he's not mounted, so he kind of got bullied around by the Haunter and Siloistra over here. Meanwhile, back here, that second Temple Guard is just getting destroyed by the Handgunners, or the Deck Dropper Handgunners. Second Manticore being summoned by the Skink Priest, which is now back from its routing, and I think he's going to start chasing our Handgunners again, which is kind of okay, because the Handgunners at this point have managed to almost nearly destroy both Temple Guards, which are a huge threat to our lines. They still do have a lot of Sauruses out there, though, and a lot of Skink Skirmishers. So you can see here the Skink Skirmishers coming back online. I think, actually, these guys haven't come back online yet. They will eventually. But anyway, these two Skink Skirmishers doing a lot of damage to this Morgul Haunter. It doesn't have high missile resistance, and it does have 50 armor, so they are just doing a lot of damage to this guy. And also, this Manticore is actually going to get pulled off from the Deck Droppers, and now the Manticore is going to go and charge our Morgul Haunter. I'm going to actually throw Siloistra into the ranged fire here because she has the 150 armor. So these Skink Skirmishers, they do poison damage, and it's annoying, but she can absorb so much damage from their ranged fire with her high armor. So I'm just going to try and let them use their ammo on Siloistra. She can tank it, it's fine. But unfortunately back here, this Manticore on the charge just destroys the rest of our Morgul Haunter's hit points, and it's going to win this fight. I did not expect the Morgul Haunter to drop that fast, but I probably should have, because again, it doesn't have high armor. Its melee defense is not too bad, but still on the charge, the Manticore just drops it, which is very unfortunate. Meanwhile, my two Handgunners over here trying to finish off the leadership of the Skink Priest, who managed to rout it off once again. I'm going to stick one of these to go into melee against them, because honestly, like at this point, all my zombies are basically dead. The Morgul Haunter, the Morgul Renowned unit is dead. And all I have really left are my Handgunners with a few bullets left and Siloistra. The balance of power is in my favor because Siloistra has such high hit points, but there are still a lot of Saurus warriors out there. They still do technically have some leadership on the field, even though we did manage to kill Krokar. So I'm going to try and finish them off in melee and not shooting them with the bullets, because we need as many bullets as possible to try and weaken the Temple Guard that remain, because Temple Guard are still operational over here and over here. They are near death, but they are still on the field, and they can deal a lot of good damage to Siloistra. Managed to waste a lot of the ammunition of these Skink Skirmishers, and now I'm going to be pulling Siloistra over here, I think, to try and go to where our Handgunners were, was my thought process. I didn't want her over here in the forest by herself fighting all these Sauruses and Skinks, because also in the forest she does take a negative to her melee stats because she is a large creature in a forest. A lot of talking. But yeah, so all of our zombies are dead. This is all we really have left. Just our handgunners. We're trying to get the Skink Priestlies off the field at the very least. The Manticore stopped chasing our other handgunners who are now over here. I will be pulling them into the battle again soon-ish. But this thing is slowly dying, so we're hoping that it just kind of flies around for a little bit and maybe doesn't engage. And also we need to get out of this forest. That's a big deal because our stats are taking a hit. But the Manticore is going to charge into the forest, into Saloistra. It does do a lot of damage. Its armor piercing isn't the best though, luckily for us, and it's also getting poisoned by the friendly Skink skirmishers, so it's slowing its damage a little bit even more, which is really good for us. But so we're trying to draw the units out of the forest, and I believe that's when we're going to start fighting here, is when we are outside the forest. We won't be taking too much of a hit. Also, I think I'd throw our Song of Enthrallment here soon-ish as the units start pouring in. Meanwhile, the handgunners are still back out here. I think we managed to finally rout the Skink Priest, so the leadership is now totally gone. There goes another Fog to the Dam. Oh, sorry. The Song of Enthrallment is being dropped by Saloistra, which is going to be lowering the melee attack and speed of all units around her. So we're just trying to pick off one unit at a time, so we dive into these Skink Skirmishers. They are tower routing, but now we're just trying to do hit point damage, basically. And we're going to be taking shots at the Temple Guard, and I believe throughout this entire battle, what I'm doing here is trying to fly behind the Temple Guard every single time and then shoot them so that their shields do not actually block any damage. Especially right now because we do not have much ammo left, so we need as many shots hitting and not getting blocked by shields. So we're just trying to shoot at an angle where the shields will not be blocking. We're going to be withdrawing from Saloistra again and letting these guys take their final shots. Because she's already taken a lot of damage. Like, she was basically at full hit points, but fighting the Manticore, fighting the Skinks and Source Warriors just briefly managed to bring it down to almost half, which is very scary. Unfortunately, we are now running out of ammunition on these units, so we're going to just try and do a dive bomb here with a charge attack and manage to rout off the Source Warriors. I think I'm repositioning the deck droppers to do another salvo into the Temple Guards from the behind, I think? Oh no, I'm charging them into the Skink Skirmishers. I forgot about that. And then we throw Spiteful Shot on them, because why not? I threw them into melee. Why not throw Spiteful Shot? That's kind of a waste of magic, honestly. I was probably just panicking at this point. Trying to finish off the Manticore because it does some of the highest damage of the units remaining. So we're going to try and destroy it. It's near death. Still near death. Oh my god, please die. Then we're just going to run into these Source Spears. The balance of power is heavily into our favor, and luckily for us, the remaining units are now going to shatter, even though there are still a lot of them. The thing is, they just didn't have any leadership. The balance of power was so heavily into our favor because our caster was still relatively healthy, and they had just lost their Manticore, so that didn't help them at all there either. But still, I was very frightened at the end. If those Temple Guard were allowed to surround her for a while and with the Manticore, like you saw, her health started dropping pretty quickly when those Temple Guard got into the fight. And we were basically out of bullets for our handgunners, but whew, if I did not have our handgunners target those Temple Guard early in the battle, that could have been really different. Because there's no way our zombies were going to be able to destroy the Temple Guard. All they were doing for the most part was, I mean, they were doing a little damage, but they were just stalling them for the most part. That was a scary fight at the end there. Very, very scary. But luckily we were able to snipe Krokar early, and we got these Skink Priests out of there, so they had no more leadership. Because, jeez, that was just another one of those fights where, I don't know, if I had, like, left Saloistra there just for a few moments longer, maybe she would have eventually routed. Because you can see, like, her morale was not super high towards the end there. So, again, it was so good. So, good game to Lewis James Liverpool. I hope you all enjoyed that. Look at those Temple Guard kills. God. And, like, if we didn't get that Vargeist's Revenge spell off early, which destroyed 2 of their Source Warriors outright, like, imagine how different that fight would have been. Those 2 Source Warriors that would have been around for the rest of the fight to help bring down our zombies faster, help surround Saloistra there at the end. Like, that spell, I don't know if it was, like, the MVP, but it definitely helped to bring down 2 Source Warriors from, like, full to nothing. Anyway, let's go watch a cinematic view of the battle. Oh, it's so creepy how they move. These Mongols. I didn't even notice that spell. Damn, shotgun my Morgul champion in the face. Morgul Haunter or whatever. Pirate ship! Oh, such a cool spell. The Source Warrior's like, oh my god, I gotta go! It's time to go, dinner time! They're actually able to charge my Knights Errant, so we didn't get the charge in the back there. Some quick microing right there. Oh, they got flocked with Doom. Ugh. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Goodbye, Knights. Oh, the butt stomp. And these temple guards just getting shot to hell. Bats carrying zombies carrying guns. That's where the Knights are gonna die. Whoa. And then this is where they're gonna rampage and die, because they're rampaging into temple guards. That's a great idea. I should have moved them. By the time I noticed who they were fighting, it's too late. They were already berserk. And now they're dead. That one's got some fire left in them. Well. I think at this point, Krokgar is dead or about to die over here. Oh, he's still alive. There it is. Krokgar has fallen. Some more Gauls, like, get me out of here. These skinks. Tagging in Siloistra. Unfortunately, the skinks also had a tag in with the Manticore. God, looks like it's almost already dead. It's just like, oh, get me out of here. I think at this point all my zombies are dead now. Yep. Fought bravely. Because they had no other choice. she was alone. She seems okay with it, though. Stick and move. There we go. Again, I hope you enjoyed, everybody. And I'll see you all next time. Take care.